Hello everybody, it's Serafina and I'm here with your daily tarot insight. So before we begin, I would like to call upon the spirit of the universe that loves us unconditionally. I would like to call upon the spirits of this land, of this island, and of this ocean, and I thank them for holding the space and for their ancient wisdom. And I would like to call upon my guides, ancestors, my team of light, and my higher self, and I thank them for their presence and guidance with this reading. With this collective reading. Beloved Spirit of the Universe, what loving guidance is there for the collective today? We have the Four of Swords. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have the Knight of Wands. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have the Page of Wands. These are two. I'm going to put them back in. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have the Eight of Pentacles. One more. We have the Ten of Wands. So to complement, I would like to use this deck. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have Get Curious. And another card, please. Limitless. See yourself open to receive in the most miraculous ways. The divine can use anything and anyone. And notice the similarity of like branching out of these two cards. I love this archetypal deck, so let's choose from this one to finish. What archetype speaks to the collective today? Whoa. What archetype speaks to the collective today? We have the Animal. Interesting. So I feel like reading from the Animal first, because I want to see how it ties into what I'm already observing. The beast, the wild one, the she-wolf. We are all mammals. The hair on our chest and between our legs remind us so. We try hard to deny our unrefined animalistic nature, yet through this archetype we tap into the power and direction. Activating the animal within means reawakening our relationship to nature in the most broad and embodied sense. Drinking from waterfalls, roaring at the moon, opening eyes underwater, eating berries from the vine. The life force of our planet begs us to set down the devices, the constraints, and the social constructs, and remember the warm blood that pulses through our veins. The animal longs for breath, food, procreation, and physicality. It wants soil under our nails and starlight on our skin. If this all sounds terribly unsophisticated to you, take note that it is said that when Buddha became enlightened, he roared like a great lion. Beautiful. When light, it is vital, elemental, alive, and dances. When dark, savagery, pent-up emotion, and lashing out. It says, notice your resistance to the animal within. Where does it come from? What has it kept you from doing, wild one? Beautiful. So we're starting off with the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is a time of contemplation. It's a time when we have to kind of like put our swords, our thoughts down and just allow ourselves a little bit of time to kind of like sit in our own happenings, sit in what is happening for us. I'm hearing the word integration right now. So let's say you've been going through a lot lately. There's a lot going on around you, and I feel that this card is coming to tell you, hey, let's take a little bit of time to integrate, please. Because the Knight of Wands tells me that you have been working. You've been working really hard. You've been charging towards the things that you are passionate about. We saw this card in the last reading, which is very interesting, right? So there's still this archetype, this element of us charging towards what is important to us, what we want to manifest into our lives, right? And the Page of Wands reminds us that maybe we're still learning how to craft things. Like, it reminds us the importance of us seeking out new information, new ways of approaching things that are important to us. Maybe we've been stuck in a loop of like how we think things should go, or how I should approach this thing that I've been doing that's been working for me. And the Page of Wands is here to say, hey, why don't we take a little bit of a different approach towards it? Because I know that you've been feeling a little bit burdened. The Ten of Wands says, you're almost home, you're almost at the finish line, but you are carrying a little bit too much on your back. Let's take off some of those wands, maybe 4 of them, and get to the 6 of Wands, where we can celebrate ourselves exactly as we are, right? And it's all regarding what you are focused on. The 8 of Pentacles is somebody who is working on one specific project. They take time away from their other duties, from expectations, from, other... even, if your friends are getting together and you know that there's something specific that you want to work on, the 8 of Pentacles says that it's worth it, right? And so with this card of Get Curious, and we see a dove kind of like branching out, that's what I feel. I feel like the 4 of Swords is here to say, hey, wait, let's integrate, because I know you're passionate and I know you're moving through it with a lot of hastiness, but let's take a different approach towards whatever it is that you're doing, because you've been feeling a little bit overwhelmed. And when these feelings of overwhelm come up, it's time to kind of like reevaluate, like reverse engineer what you're working on and seeing how you can approach it, because you are limitless. And like it says here, the divine can use anything and anyone to send you a message, right? So if you take a little bit of time to go on YouTube, read a book, talk to a friend, take a walk in the forest, and any insight comes to you, it's saying, this is a divine message coming for you, right? This is something that I learned quite some time ago, that, God even works through you through your qualities that are not so good, let's say. Like if somebody's known to be a gossiper and certain information has to reach someone, well, then that information is going to go to the gossiper, because we can trust that they're going to spread that information, right? So just kind of knowing that everything is kind of like in flux and everything has a rhyme and reason to it. And, with this archetype of the animal, I feel that, again, it goes with the getting curious, right? So it's kind of like saying, as humans, we have a tendency of falling back into these habitual patterns, which are very much of the mind, right? And if we go back into the body, back into the senses, and be like, what would my animal self do right now? Should I take off my shoes and just walk on the dirt for a little bit and get a little bit of sensation? Should I just like stop what I'm doing and start dancing naked in my living room or something like that, right? So it's just us tuning back into that. And what I'm noticing is the eye, right? So it's like the perception that we're having towards something is asking for a change. So let's integrate what's going on, because we're moving towards something maybe a little bit too hastily. Let's reapproach something, because we've been having a little bit of too much that's going on. We're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. And then we're going to be able to hyper focus on what it is that we're bringing into manifestation with a new approach, because we are able to get curious and receive information from limitless forms and tapping into our animal self. Okay, to finish, I am feeling compelled to use the White Light Oracle. Beloved Spirit of the Universe, what loving guidance is there for the collective today? What loving message do you have for the collective today? We have Ishtar's Lion Gate 888, and it is number 44. This is a beautiful card, and I feel that it is speaking to the Leo season that's coming up. So maybe whatever this reading brought up for you in your life, I have a feeling that it's going to be like translated into August. It's not like a short-term thing. It's like something that's coming into fruition, and you can see the full result of it in August, in Leo season, right? Okay. Ishtar, Lion Gate 888. Your heart has a heightened connection to the higher realms of consciousness and light. A blessing, empowerment, and positive omen shall enter your world. Doors will open for you. Abundance and prosperity are heading your way. Take care of your heart. Ask for spiritual assistance and it shall be granted. Something negative is going to transform into something very positive. Ishtar is the queen of the night, a dark goddess of loss and letting go, but also a priestess of light, who holds the key to renewal and suffering. She is relentless in her pursuit of the path true to inner freedom. She willingly surrenders her attachments and her identities, even separating herself temporarily from her loved ones, with such boldness and confidence that she crosses into the realms where others dare to not go. She experiences vulnerability and in this state discovers a deep truth. So this is making me think, I need to stop because it's making me think of so many things. First of all, it is saying that a positive omen is going to come, and we already kind of got that from this card. It says something negative is going to transform into something very positive. So we need that integration, and then we're going to be able to work on that positive thing. But it's talking about Ishtar, and Ishtar is considered like one of the dark feminine, a dark goddess. And dark does not mean evil or bad. It just means that she goes into the underworld. And what it's making me think of is that this past new moon in Cancer was conjunct Black Lilith. And Lilith is known as also as a dark goddess. So whatever came up for you during this new moon in Cancer, I feel is kind of like this alchemy that's happening within you. And Lilith is associated to like the cast out aspect of femininity, like women who are not allowed to show, all of us women who are not allowed to show wrath or anger or to express ourselves fully in our full spectrum of what it means to be a woman, right? So I feel that it's speaking to that. And then it says the 888 frequency will stimulate your soul in a unique way. It facilitates a deepening of intimacy between the spiritual worlds and the earthly plane. The lion's gate falls when the sun is in Leo. Leo is the sign of the lion, the astrological ruler of the heart, and the animal totem sacred to Ishtar, right? So we're already talking about, again, the animal totem. So tapping into that inner animal within us. The rising of Sirius took place in the 26th of July in ancient Egypt. Sirius is a specific star that the Egyptians looked up to a lot. It was kind of like a point of reference for them as astronomers. Nonetheless, the 8th day of the 8th month is considered a special potent, and when combined with 8-pointed star of Ishtar, the numerical frequency of the spiritual portal, that way it opens on August 8th. So, lots of information here. It's kind of like saying there's a blessing that's happening. There was a little bit of darkness in this Cancer new moon considering Lilith. However, it is going to blossom. It's going to alchemize into something, tapping into this lion energy and just listening to the messages, listening to whatever's coming through and allowing yourself to kind of like transmute this lead into gold. Okay, everybody, I hope that this was useful to you. And if you did find it useful, I'm going to ask you to please share it, comment it, or like it, as it helps me reach more people. If you would like a personal reading, don't hesitate to reach out. We can do something short at the beginning if you're not sure, and then I can always extend it to something a little bit longer. And I will be back with you soon. Bye.